Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Amal, you're muted. So
Yes, we can hear you, Ayman.
okay, sorry.
I can
I have
hear you.
to I have to just get the door for the management for the building, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, Yasha's here. Hi Yasha, how are you?
All right.
Okay, so we're waiting like for a couple of minutes or something.
Well, I think we can probably get started if we'd like.
Oh,
A couple minutes after the hour now. Okay. All right. Let's get going. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dale Correa. I am the Vice President and Program Chair for this year's Mela annual meetings. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Committee on Cataloging workshop today. We often sponsor committee workshops during the annual meetings, and I'm very, very happy that the Committee on Cataloging came with this opportunity for this year. So I will introduce Ayman Dagher, who is the Arabic and Islamic Studies metadata librarian at UCLA. She is also the chair of the beloved Mela Committee on Cataloging, and so I will let her take it away. Oh, Ayman, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Dale, for the introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, AI Experiments in Cataloging Middle Eastern Collection. Again, my name is Ayman Dagher, and I'm the current chair of the Mela Committee on Cataloging, and I will be moderating today's session. We're delighted to have you with us as we explore innovative applications of artificial intelligence in cataloging non-Latin script materials, with a particular focus on Middle Eastern collection. It's my pleasure today to introduce today's speakers. Yasha Razizadeh, Metadata Librarian for Non-Latin Script Resources, New York University. Amal Morsy, Arabic Librarian, Middle East Section, Library of Congress, and Ayman Osman, Rare Materials Cataloger and AI Specialist at University of Florida Libraries. Today's session will start with Yasha Razizadeh presenting on resolving non-Latin script cataloging issues with GenAI and Python, AI-built Unicode Decomposer. Following Yasha's presentation, Amal, Morsy, and Ayman Osman will present AI in cataloging, experimenting with Middle Eastern materials. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat at any time. We will address them during the Q&A at the end of the session. Now, let's get started with Yasha's presentation. Over to you, Yasha. Can you share your screen?
Yasha, we can't hear you. Not yet. Can you try the audio options on the bottom left there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Sorry about that. As Amal mentioned, I'm Yasha Razizadeh, metadata librarian for non-Latin script resources at NYU Libraries, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to present today as part of the Mela Committee on Cataloging. I'll be presenting on experiments I've been doing using AI to help resolve Unicode issues in metadata for non-Latin script resources. And as a bit of a case study, I'm looking specifically at the problem of precomposed Unicode characters that present issues in automated translation of Arabic and Persian in the OCLC connection client, and can often cause display issues in other programs as well. So this is an overview of what I'll be presenting on. The presentation's in two parts. First, I'll describe this case study, what's meant by precomposed and decomposed Unicode, a bit about the errors it can cause, and why I decided to try using AI to resolve this issue in the first place. I'll then show the prompts that I used and conclude with a demonstration of the steps I took to create this Unicode decomposing program using ChatGPT and the Python programming language. So when I'm thinking about precomposed and decomposed Unicode, this is specifically for characters with diacritics, which are used widely, as many of you know, in the Library of Congress transliteration schema for various languages. And as a simple illustration and comparison of precomposed and decomposed characters, on the first line here, this is a Latin script letter I with a macron above. It looks like an aleph mata or aleph bacola, but it's just a letter I. It's the diacritic above it is called the macron. And in Library of Congress Persian transliteration, it's used to represent the letter ye, and I'm sure represents many other characters in other transliteration schemes for languages you may be working in. So you can see the precomposed and decomposed forms on the first line look identical to the human eye. But on the second line, you can see on the right that the decomposed form consists of two separate Unicode characters, the letter I and the macron above it. And under that, you can see the Unicode code points. For the precomposed form, it's a single Unicode character that's underlined there. And whereas in the decomposed form on the right, it's, again, two separate Unicode characters that combine to form the letter that is transliterated into the character yet. And I got this code using an online tool called What Unicode Character Is This, where you can put in a string of text and it'll give you the exact Unicode code points. And MARC records, as some of you may know, consist of either MARC 8 or UTF-8 encoding. And in MARC 8 encoding, there's only the option for decomposed characters, but UTF-8 can include either decomposed or precomposed. And I found reference to this issue in a MARC discussion paper from when the need to support UTF-8 in addition to MARC 8 encoding was under initial discussion. So as I mentioned a bit about, UTF-8 includes support for a much wider array of scripts and variations within scripts, but it also introduces the ability to create either precomposed or decomposed characters. So while it's better in theory and on paper, you can see here that it says MARC 8 specifies only the use of decomposed diacritic strings to accommodate highly unusual letter and diacritic combinations that occur in bibliographic data. So there's a bit more flexibility there for accommodating different scripts in transliteration. There's also a detailed description of this in the MARC documentation specifications for character sets, which is at the second link there on the slide. Since records in OCLC can have either MARC 8 or UTF-8 encoding, it can present a range of issues in compatibility. I found, for example, an OCLC support article addressing an issue that a cataloger had with a failed automatic transliteration in the connection client. And I'm sure many of you have seen these black boxes interspersed in a string of transliterated text. And especially in older ILS systems and other programs which may not support UTF-8. In this case, OCLC responded that the error characters are causing the failure to, quote, due to an issue with the display of precomposed characters in some foreign languages. And there's currently no way for OCLC WorldCat interfaces to identify or for the validation system to change precomposed or decomposed characters. And this is really at the heart of the issue. Non-Latin script catalogers may be familiar with this issue of having to go through a string meticulously to figure out which character is causing a failure. The second screenshot here is from another OCLC support request describing the same issue with transliterating Arabic text with 4 letters that use the dot below in the transliteration scheme. This is especially common when text is copied from outside of a MARC record and brought into a MARC record, since adding diacritics within connections built-in diacritic tool will create that decomposed Unicode by default, but pre-composed is often preferred in a lot of other applications. So there's no way in connection to convert, and it's time intensive to convert these characters manually. I did discover while looking into this that there's a Han macro library macro that some of you may be familiar with that can be run to transliterate field by field, but it was still, it took more time than I would like. And I searched online for a conversion tool and couldn't find anything, even though there are tools that do the character identification. There was nothing like a free online tool that can do that conversion. And this is a screenshot of using the transliteration option in OCLC and the corresponding error that one would see when trying to run it on a string of pre-composed characters. So I know that's a lot of background on pre-composed and decomposed characters, but to now transition to the AI piece and why I started approaching this from that angle. In our cataloging department at NYU, we've been experimenting with how AI can be applied to cataloging and metadata work. And someone on my team who's working on Middle East materials had let me know that he's spending a lot of time fixing Unicode issues manually. So I've been looking for an automated way of handling this. And I thought it might be worth a try to use ChatGPT to convert the characters, or even better, to have it write a Python script that I can have on hand to run alongside connection to convert these problem strings on the fly. And for a bit of background on where I'm coming from in terms of coding ability, I'd taken a few semesters of Python many years ago, but I haven't kept up with it. So I know how to work in the command line, but really can't write anything beyond basic code. So this was my initial prompt to ChatGPT, and this is the ChatGPT 5 model, asking it for a Python script. And I got a working script from it on the first try after this prompt. And I think it was helpful to provide a specific example of what I wanted it to do in terms of input and output of the Unicode code points. So you can see here that I gave it the example of a letter E with an acute accent. And how that should be handled, and to ask it to apply this to all pre-composed and decomposed equivalents across the board. And in general, I think more specificity really helps when asking for code from ChatGPT and any AI model. And I will mention that my end goal is to really have colleagues that aren't familiar with Python or with the command line to be able to use something like this in a more accessible way. Without having to install Python or run code from the command line. And after testing the initial script, I next asked ChatGPT for instructions on packaging this as an executable file. And with GPT-5, the instructions for using PyInstaller to package this script were relatively straightforward. So I was very excited to get this running as a standalone program. And I'll now demonstrate the 3 steps I took to kind of get this to that point, which involved first generating the working script, then having it run with a graphical user interface, and finally getting it packaged to run as a standalone program. So I'll stop shooting this. So this is that initial prompt that I had showed you. And I am just going to copy the code that it gave me here and put it into my code editing program, which in my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to create a new file as a Python file. And all I'm doing is pasting that code into here and saving this as a new file. So let's put it in this folder here. Let's say Unicode. And I save this. I'm now going to open the terminal, and I'm using PowerShell on Windows here. So let me navigate to that folder, and I'll run that Python script. I'm going to list everything in that folder, and you can see that file that I just saved. This is just the file that has the code that I just copied from ChatGPT. So if I run this as a Python file, it actually does nothing, which at first caught me off guard and took some figuring out. So within the script itself, I had to look through, and ChatGPT had actually written some comments at the beginning of the script to tell me how to run this script with the actual string that I wanted to change. So let me plug a string into here in the way that it wants me to and show you how this iteration of it works. So I have to run the script again, passing an argument that includes that string. So let me cancel this. And this is the 245 from the record that I had in that initial screenshot. So let me actually open that. I have it in the CLC save file. And I can also show you the error that comes up as well. OCLC cooperates. So if I try to transliterate this, you'll see that error message that I'd mentioned earlier. So what I'm doing is copying this string. I copied it previously, but this is that same string here with the pre-composed Unicode. And now if I run it, this in theory should be the decomposed Unicode that will allow for the transliteration. But let me hold off on copying that back into OCLC for now. So this took a bit of figuring out for how to get this to actually give me the decomposed text that I wanted, which was a bit more fiddling around than I wanted. So my next step was to go back to ChatGPT. And in a couple instances in the past, when I'd asked for Python scripts, I had told ChatGPT, give me a graphical user interface or a GUI. So I don't know if it kind of does it of its own accord now, or it's because I had asked it before. But after giving me that initial code, it asked me, do you want me to put this into a GUI? So I said, yes, please do that. That sounds great. So I'm going to copy that code that ChatGPT updated to include a GUI. And to me, this is where it really gets cool because you can interact with it in a more accessible way. So I'm going to just replace the text in this same file, which usually isn't good practice. You want to have different iterations, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to save this again. And let's go back, and I want to run the initial code again. And now I get this screen that I can interact with, which is so much easier to use. You still have to launch it from the command line, but now I can take this string and drop it in here. And I get the decomposed output here with a lot more context and explanation of what's happening. It was very cool that it included two things that I wasn't expecting. One is to have this checkbox that includes the code points for the decomposed text, as well as two different types of normalization from pre-composed to decomposed script, which I didn't know what these were initially, the NFD and NFKD, but I went back to that kind of very detailed mark documentation that talks about the pre-composed and decomposed issue. And there I saw a preference for NFKD conversion for bibliographic data. So let me decompose that again. It should be NFKD conversion now. So this should be the decomposed script, but I want to do one last thing in ChatGPT before we bring this back into CLC and test it. Again, I ideally want to have colleagues be able to use this and not have to go into the command line and install Python and everything. So my last step in ChatGPT was to ask it to, and this was something very new for me. I'd done the GUI script from ChatGPT, but I asked it, how can I get this to run as an exe or an executable file to make it so I can double click on program and just have it run. So someone doesn't have to use the command line, install Python, install dependencies or anything. And I'm not going to go through all of this because it takes some time, but essentially all I did is input these commands that it gave me into the command line in order. And it eventually it took that script, the last one that I'd copied, and packaged it into a file that was placed into the same folder where that script was. So I'll now show you what that looks like. That's this file here, Unicode Decomposer. So it had taken this script, and when I run these commands, if I do it once again, it'll put it in this folder as an exe. So now let me show you, this the final piece. When I double click on Unicode Decomposer, it should open that program right away. It takes a little bit sometimes, I think, depending on how much I've opened on my computer. But now let's copy this in here. Let's do nfkd decompose. I'll copy this again. And so once again, let's just see that error for good measure. Okay, so that's pre-composed, and now I'm pasting the decomposed text from that application. So I've just pasted that in, and let me run that transliteration macro again. And finally, the big payoff is that I get my Persian script 245 field. And as catalogers may know, the transliteration in OCLC is really quite reliable. There were a few things that we know to look out for and going incorrect. So this one is pretty much good to go. One final thing I'll mention is that it's very easy once you have a running script to go back and take kind of a modular approach and ask it to add things, remove things to make it work the way that you really want to, which isn't really something you can do when you have a program or software that you buy. So it's a very different kind of novel approach, the way I see it. So I'll show you, let's see. Cancel this. Doesn't let's see. Again. I want this test file that I have that I haven't packaged this version yet, but you'll see this looks a little bit different once it opens. One of my colleagues had asked me, can you also add a UTF-8 and MARC-8 validation so I know which encoding a given string conforms to. So if I take this again and put it in here, it'll check for UTF-8 and MARC-8 compatibility. I also asked ChatGPT, if I go back here, I had a whole bunch of just back and forth of adding things, removing things, and just kind of experimenting with how I can make this work more specifically to the purpose that I need it in my workflow. So one of the final things I had done is to also just add to copy the output to the clipboard with a simple click instead of right-clicking. Just these ease of use things you can kind of build in a modular way. So that's pretty much everything I'll have. I'll just go back to the slides very quickly. And I would say that really what I want to emphasize is that this is just one specific use case, but this process of using generative AI to make a Python script that's very specific to a workflow problem that one might be facing is really something that can be replicated, and something that's very interesting to experiment with. So yeah, happy to take questions at the end of the presentation, and feel free to contact me at the email on screen. Thank you.
I have a question, Yasha.
Can we? Yeah, go ahead, Ayman.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Yasha, for the great effort that you did, and this is something very important, and we see it a lot in Arabic and Persian in connexion or connection. And just one question: did you try to copy more than one field in the program in the GUI that you created, and
It's
check
a good
it?
question. Yeah, so I only did one field. I haven't tried more than one field, but something that I asked the AI in the initial prompt was to accept either a pasted string or a file. So if I put a file into the program, it'll it'll convert that whole file from pre-composed to decomposed Unicode in theory. So that's something for me to try more than one field, just paste it into that interface, but also, let's say, to take something from like the raw mark data and put it into this and do everything all at once to find things that are decomposed and change it to pre-compose. So definitely thinking about usability more than just one field at a time is something on my mind as well. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Yasha, for the informative presentation and for the walkthrough demonstration that you shared with us, using the artificial intelligence with us. So now we can move to our second presentation, AI in cataloging, experimenting with Middle Eastern materials with Amal and Ayman. Amal and Ayman, please go ahead. And just a second, I see that Osama has raised his hand. Osama, can we keep or postpone question until the end of the presentations? I think we will have some time for Q&A. So please, but you feel free to type it in. But let's move to Amal. I think Amal will start her presentation.
Hello, thank you, Ayman. Hello, everyone. This is Amal Morsy. I am the senior librarian and the Arabic cataloger in Library of Congress. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Amal. Thank you.
Not long ago, cataloging was defined by precision, structure, and repetition. A process that depended entirely on human attention to detail. Today, we are entering a new chapter. Artificial intelligence is transforming the way catalogers work, opening the door to greater efficiency, accuracy, and creativity. Generative AI tools like ChatGPT are at the heart of this change. They can assist in creating full cataloging records, generating metadata elements, and even suggesting subject headings and classification numbers. We should mention that these technologies aren't here to replace catalogers. They are collaborative partners and tools, helping professionals save time, improve accuracy, and focus on higher level work that requires human judgment. Around the world, libraries are exploring what this means in practice. Few examples here in 2025, OCLC announced that they started to use AI innovation with cataloging care to help identify duplicates across the broad spectrum of bibliographic records. At the University of California, UCLA, the library tested ChatGPT's ability to perform Arabic romanization using ALA LC romanization table as a guide. And in the Library of Congress has formed an AI working group under the Technology Strategy Board to explore how AI can responsibly support library operation. And in 2022, Library of Congress began experimenting with ebook files, EPUB, PDF format, showing that while AI can generate promising results, human review remains essential. And many other libraries around the world are now testing how AI models can help improve cataloging, especially for libraries with limited resources or those holding Middle Eastern collection without in-house language expertise. AI promises a remarkable opportunity. It can handle time-consuming tasks, assist in metadata creation for foreign language materials, and improve overall consistency, allowing catalogers to focus on what requires human insight, context, judgment, and curation. In the next few minutes, me and Ayman, we will highlight, my colleague Ayman, we will highlight some key benefits and share examples of how AI, specifically ChatGPT, can help catalogers save time, efforts in their day-to-day work. In the first example, I will demonstrate step by step how we use ChatGPT to generate a Mark 21 record for a single Arabic book. The first example here is the book وقف تعز by Saleh ibn Abd al-Muhsin Muhammad. It showed in the slide 6 images I used for this example. These images include the title page, verso, few internal pages, the back cover, and the last page of the book. Now, let us go and to demonstrate, witness what happened when I uploaded these 6 photos to ChatGPT, putting in our consideration that the free version of the ChatGPT accepts only 3 images. So we are working with a paid version of ChatGPT. As I uploaded the 6
Amal?
images, yes?
My apologies to interrupt you. Is there any way that you could make your screen bigger?
Bigger?
Yeah.
No.
Some participants are asking so they can see your content better.
If you want to try, yeah, thanks, Amal. Thank you.
Better?
Yeah, and if you can enlarge it a little bit more, yeah, great, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So using my iPhone, I uploaded these 6 images from the book I mentioned, along with a prompt that I prepared to structure ChatGPT to give me a Mark 21. Initially, when I uploaded these images, ChatGPT informed me that HEIC image is not supported by ChatGPT, and I have to reformat the images to either PDF, JPEG, or PNG. So I have reformatted the 6 images and uploaded back to ChatGPT along with the prompt. Let us go and see, and the minute I uploaded the images and the prompt, instantly I got the Mark 21 record for that book. Let us review the Mark 21 that I got from ChatGPT and see how accurate it is. It successfully provided me with 100, and 245 was accurate, somehow accurate punctuation. However, the 100, the author should not start with an. Perhaps because this author does not have authority record in Excel. It also provided me with the 245 with the acceptable level of punctuation and normalization. However, it gave me an unnecessary field of variant field 246 with C1 parallel variant, which is not supported by C. I think it might be supported with other libraries. In the publication field, it should.
Sorry, Amal, can we enlarge it a little bit more? So can we enlarge the screen so everybody can see it? Thank you. Thanks.
Is it large enough?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, in 264, the publication field, it should give me the publisher not identified according to RDA regulations. Also, a RIAD, which wasn't included in the somewhere in the book, should be in English, not recognized as here. When I uploaded the book, I realized that in the title page, it clearly stated that the book is first edition, طبعا الأولى. However, it wasn't included in the mark field, so it was missing the 250. Yet it presented for me as a note in English. It also gave me a note and the summary in English as it translated what was in the page 4 of cover. Of course, it was in Arabic and it translated it in English in 520. It recognized that the book is autobiography, and it gives me the right 655. However, it should not give me 650. It should be 600 since it is biography. So this was not right. The dialogue between us, me and ChatGPT, kept going to refine more accurate information and to ask more questions about why this and why that. And this example encouraged me to go on and have another more examples. So the next example I have uploaded, instead of uploading 6 images, I uploaded 10 images for that book. في التعبير القرآني تحليل موضوعات لغوية by الدكتور عبد القادر عبد الرحمن السعدي. And I also uploaded the cover the title page, the last page of the book, the content pages, and some pages from the middle. So in total, I uploaded 10 images. Along with, I also updated my prompt, so it will be more specific, and so I will get more accurate results. And this is what I get as a Mark 21. Let's review it. In this Mark 21, as you can see here, let me show more. It provides me with two country code, 043, the country code, and it gives me the same code here again, on the top and on the bottom. And interestingly, this code does not exist as a country code. Also, considering that 100 is right and the normalization, punctuation was very, very accurate, and the author here has a authority record, so it was 100% accurate. Again, it gave me the variant field that is not supported by LC, and it gives me the bayan al-tab'a, which is the publication, the edition is right. The 245, the publication field is right. In the description, the book is not 176 pages. It is actually 173, and we don't know where 176 came from. It has illustration, and it is 24 centimeters. The bibliographical information is accurate. Exactly, it started in 157 to 167, and let us see the 6xx fields. It gives me, as it is the language of Quran, and the second 650 is the accurate one. So it gives me actually very close subject headings. However, when I go to the class number and checked it against the class, find out that it is for Hebrew. This is for Hebrew. This is for Hebrew language, not for Arabic. And the accurate class number should be this one. For our language style. It provided clearly provided the wrong class number, the wrong country, and this record actually does not need the 043 country code, and I was wondering where it came from. Overall accuracy, I will say about 90% for the physical description, and about 60% for the subject and class number. This percentage is expected to become much higher when we provide more images from the book, or even scan the entire book, it might become higher. Here is a summary of what ChatGPT extracted from the photo I uploaded. It can be very helpful in providing acceptable punctuation and acceptable romanization, provided 880 fields. It provides the accurate author and the title, the edition, description of how many pages and illustration, the ISBN, the summary, and even so, the subject were not always right. It can be very helpful in suggesting a broad subjects. The process demonstrates how ChatGPT can analyze scanned images, extract structured metadata, and produce a complete draft of Mark 21 record in just seconds. After testing several Arabic books, the accuracy rate for the physical description averaged between the physical 90 to 95%, which is impressive, but it is still not perfect. A few points to mention: hallucination will occur. Sometimes it outputs false information as if it were true. For example, ChatGPT added a page number that's not there, or a country code that's it's not even exist. It may not follow cataloging rules precisely without a well-crafted prompt. Extra and redundant fields may appear, and the classification numbers or subject heading aren't always accurate. We think that by providing more images or scans, we might improve the accuracy of both physical description and the subject headings, but more testing will prove that. The main takeaway is that AI can generate records quickly, but human cataloger must review, correct, and validate the result for accuracy, authority control, and policy compliance. Here is a simple workflow that the catalogers can follow when using ChatGPT as a for cataloging assistant. First, you upload the high-quality images, JPEG or PDF. You prepare a prompt and provide it to ChatGPT. You review and edit the AI, the AI output. This is where professional cataloger judgment remains essential, and export or copy the cleaned record into your ILS or cataloging tool. This workflow blends human expertise with AI speed, letting catalogers focus on review and refinement rather than repetitive data entry. Cataloging non-Latin materials brings undue challenges, especially for libraries without language specialists. Many institutions struggle to balance quality with workload due to the staff shortage and limited training resources. AI now offers meaningful support. It can create mark fields from non-Latin text, perform translation and transliteration, suggest subject headings and geographic codes, handle notes, addition, statement, and variant titles, and reduce searching time. Librarians don't need to be programmers or mathematicians to use these tools, only to understand how to guide them with effective prompts. In many cases, tasks that once took 30 minutes now take 5. When AI and catalogers collaborate, we get stronger metadata, faster workflows, and better accessibility while maintaining professional standards. In the end, AI isn't replacing catalogers. It is empowering them. It helps library work smarter, reach farther, and step confidently into more connected, intelligent future. Now I will hand it over to Ayman, who will take you through another valuable experience and introduce additional techniques that can support librarians in their everyday work. Take it away, Ayman. You may now share your screen.
Thanks a lot, Amal, and we are happy to get questions at the end. And let me share my screen. So when you see the screen, please let me know.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Ayman.
All right. Thank you, Ayman. Okay, so because of the limitation in time for the purpose of this meeting and also the context, so I'm not going to be able to say everything regarding working on AI and also developing and doing different techniques, different apps and APIs, and using a lot of tools and large language models. So the other part here in our presentation, I will show something related, first of all, to ChatGPT. And at the beginning, as you all know, to use ChatGPT, you have to pay. So the free ChatGPT is very limited. And if you want to try something or do any experiments, it must be with the monthly subscription. The other thing is the consistency and the sustainability. So if we want something that to be consistent and to make it work as much as we can, in ChatGPT, when you pay the monthly subscription, you can do what is known as customized ChatGPT. Customized ChatGPT, you can name it any name you want, like I did here, more than one. Library assistant, Ayman copy, cataloging assistant 2. And the other thing is, this is very important. Instead of trying to write the prompt each time, if you want to see a generated MARC record or XML record for the book you want, or the serial title you want, or the map or the image, either printed or electronic. So here, I will show you as fast as possible. When creating a customized ChatGPT, this is the place to train, do fine-tuning, and do feeding, which means you can upload all the files you want and also go with the training process or the feeding process or the fine-tuning process and go back and forth, do all this in here until you get the most accurate result as much as possible. So here in the customized ChatGPT, first of all, you name it, the name you want. and give a description of the purpose of this customized ChatGPT. And then here the instructions, all the instructions written in plain language, English, Arabic, or any language you want. And all the way down here, you can see a lot of instructions. And also adding a Python code also available here if you want to write a code and add it in the instructions part. All the way down, you can see a lot of files that I uploaded, PDF files, Word files, and also compressed files because the size of these files. And once you upload it, you can uncompress it. And here at the end, ChatGPT gives you the option to select one of these options here, or some of them, or all of them, which will give you more better results as well. So here is the uploading for the files you want to train the customized ChatGPT on, or do the feeding and fine-tuning. And once you are done here, you have to do the update process. Click on update, because otherwise, whatever you do here is not going to be memorized after you go out or get out of this training customization part. So you have to do the update. Once you do the update and go back to configure, you will find what you did in this session and the previous sessions, and so on also for the future if you want to do more and more customization or feeding or training. In terms of the romanization and the what I call it the LC style, as we do here in United States, regarding the collection from the Middle East. So let me start with the book here. And recently there was a kind of change in the extracting of text from images like GPG images or even the PDF. So I will try here doing this with some pages from this book as a PDF file. And I will tell it to catalog this book based on what I call it LC style, just to let it know what exactly I want. So this was part of the training and feeding and fine-tuning. Okay, so it gave me here the mark record, started with the leader 001, 005, 008, 020, and then the 100 inverted name, Shawqi, comma Jalal, and added the subfield E as it should be added. And here is one of the things that I insisted on correcting this several times, but it keeps as Amal was presenting, and as you all know, something related to what they call hallucination in ChatGPT, or insisting to do something wrong even with giving the instructions more than one time. So here, the 245.13, this should be, the second indicator should be 0. And here it gives the right romanization, ثقافتنا والإبداع. and also added the statement of responsibility as it is mentioned in the few pages I uploaded for this book. And then the 264 second indicator one, place of publication as founded in this book or in these few pages, which is Windsor in London, written in Arabic. So it romanized Windsor and also found Al-Mamlaka Al-Muttahida. And then the publisher here for this edition of book was مؤسسة هنداوي للنشر. And the 300, it wouldn't be able to give the exact number of pages unless it is mentioned in the few pages that I uploaded. So it gave here 49 pages. And the dimension, of course, this is uploading a PDF or an image. So this is theoretically 24 centimeters. The 336 corrected, 337, 338. And then the 600s or the 650s, the main topic and also the form subdivision. And this one should be X, not V, because this is a geographical subdivisions. And also the second one, it gave it correctly, culture and subfield X philosophy. And then the 880 for the purpose of romanization or the Arabic script as we do in the cataloging. And the other 880 for the 245 and the third 880 for the 264. It also gives me, as it was trained, some notes, what was found in this PDF file, even if it's some pages or if it's the whole book. And also in the training or feeding or fine-tuning process, I added the link for the free part of LC subject headings, because as you all know, the subject headings and classification are accessible through ClassWeb, which is paid, but there is a part that is free for subject headings and classification on id.lsc.gov. So this is where it looked and checked and got the subject heading. And for example, it added here 041 a note that it's telling me that 041 field omitted, thank you, because the book is in Arabic only. And this came also after many times insisting in the instruction and customization part that 041 shouldn't be mentioned as long as there's only one language. And asking me at the end if it wants this to be downloaded as an MRC file, MARC file, or MRK, or XML, or MARC XML, and also I can download it as a JSON file. So this is regarding the romanization or what is done here in United States. If you wanna check also, I know some people here attending the meeting from libraries outside the United States. So the majority of libraries in Arab countries are doing what should be done as rules followed in Arab countries, and romanization is not one of them, of course, except for some libraries are doing that. So if I want to catalog this book as if I'm working in a library in the Middle East, not using romanization. So as you can see, this book is the fields are in Arabic. So here's the 100 field. And this, of course, it depends on the policy of the library, if it's doing inverted name for the main entry or not. So this is inverted, Jibril, comma, Muhammad, and added subfield E in Arabic. And then the 245.10, the second indicator here is perfect. من أوراق أبي الطيب المتنبي, and delimiter C for the statement of responsibility. And then the 264, second indicator 1, publication data, subfield A, subfield B, subfield C. And because this is electronic, so this time it didn't add the number of pages, but it added إضاحيات or illustrations, and also it gave the dimension. The 336, 337, 338, as I always say, it should be added in English. So here it added the three fields, the three main fields in English. And added a note here in 500. طبع هذا العمل في أصله لأول مرة عام 1986. The 500 for the artist who did the design for the cover, and this should not be mentioned in 500. And if we want to add like the designer of the cover in 700, but we have to create an authority record in that case. And also a 520, a summary in Arabic about this book. يشتمل هذا الكتاب نصوصا ودراسات مستخلصة etc. And 653, 653, 653, because I didn't add here in this customized ChatGPT a list or a subject heading list in Arabic, so it gave the 600 as a free keywords in 653, as Mark 21 is mentioning. And then the 710, some libraries do that, adding the publisher as a 710 and creating an authority record for it. So it added here the 710 for the publisher. And also gave me here some notes. The other thing is, like I mentioned, doing different techniques and practices and APIs and apps, which I did, and this is one of them. I would like to show it to you. So this is an API or an application, a web application that I created from scratch. And here you can see that I also developed this tool based on the type of material. So you can first select books or serial, journal, or map, or if you're doing cataloging or a description or a metadata for an image, or an audio file, or even a video. I wanted to create the record first in Mark 21, and then at the end, as you're going to see, I can download it as XML. So it can download the result as Mark 21 or as JSON or as XML for metadata different purposes. Okay, so here are the few pages of each book. I can select more than one. And then here it starts extracting the text from 2 books or 3 books or 5 books or 1 book. And then here I have to do something which is done here, is sending this to GPT. Okay, so what's the difference between GPT and ChatGPT? GPT is the API itself on the website of OpenAI. OpenAI is the company responsible for ChatGPT. So sending this text to GPT, the API itself, on the portal of OpenAI, which also is paid, as you can see here, and also must be trained or customized or fine-tuned. As you can see here, there's a lot to do. So I have to go with the same process I did in the customized ChatGPT right here, which I already did. And it also has the ability to add API key from OpenAI. And also adding all the files again, doing the same process regarding training or customization or fine-tuning. So these are some of the files. So here it's gonna send to this GPT. And it's gonna do the process based on this training or fine-tuning, and it will give the results here at the bottom. And as you can see here, we got the two records. And let me enlarge this. Here I didn't do any training regarding romanization, so this is working for English books, Arabic books, Farsi, Japanese, Spanish, whatever the language is, and whatever the type of material is. So I don't do any romanization because this is mainly cataloging the material as it is in the same language. So here you can see all the fields going until even 050 and 082 for libraries who are adding the Dewey classification, and it gave the 100, as you can see, and the 245 with the statement of responsibility, title statement, 264, and also some libraries do 264, second indicator 4 for the copyright, and the 300 field, the 336, 337, 338, 490 for the series, and 520. And here I added the Arabic subject heading list. So here it gives 3 subject headings in Arabic, as you can see, and also did the 700 for the designer of the cover. All the way to the second book. And at the end, downloading this, as I mentioned, as a MARC record, MRC or MRK file, downloading it as JSON, or downloading it as XML, and 3 files are already downloaded here. That's it, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ayman.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ayman.
It's a great presentation, and we appreciate your effort and Amal's
Thanks.
effort and experimenting and
Thank you.
sharing with us your experimentation. So now we can move to the question, and there's a big upload from everyone. So we have some question on the chat, but first I would like to give the floor to Usama because he raised his hand and he didn't have a chance to ask his question. Usama, are you still there? Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello. My name is Usama Hassanin. I'm senior Arabic librarian in New York Public Library right now. I'm just I have faced the same problem related to composed and uncomposed Arabic characters. And I have also, by the way, I have created a small macro on Excel, Visual Basic, to resolve the same issue, and it was by the help of Google Gemini, and I believe it can also help if anyone is interested in having the Excel sheet. I can share it with you, Ayman, and you can give it to anyone if anyone is interested. Also, regarding the results from that came back from ChatGPT and so on, I believe the same issue will be there related to composed and composed character sets, which in terms of authority control, it's a very big issue because it creates duplication. That's it. I think many of us may need to resolve this character set problem. I may ask Ayman or Amal if they have tested the results against the character set, if it's composed or decomposed. I'm not sure about that. That's why if anyone has this problem is there or not, just let us know. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, for permitting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Osama. Thanks a lot. And please, yes, email me and or any member of the committee on cataloging, and we can communicate and discuss further. So I think your question, who would like to address Osama's question? Ayman, Amal, or Yasha, regarding the composed or decomposed?
Regarding what Amal and I was presenting using ChatGPT or even tools or programs or APIs or apps from outside ChatGPT. Yes, Osama, I tested the diacritics, and it is working good in OCLC. I cannot give you like a guarantee that this will happen like 100%, but for my experiments through the years, yes, it worked good. So the idea is in OCLC it is different. As Yasha presented, some libraries are not using the correct diacritics, so this is the main problem. And also making the setting as it should be in connexion or connection, that the mark record or the mark records exported, it should be in UTF-8. So this is one of the things that also can make problems when you export the record from OCLC to ALMA, for example, or any other library system.
Also, I should mention that we at the library focus, for example, we are using script shifter for normalization, and before that and this is a very reliable tool. Although there is no tools until now, there is no tool that you can use that give you 100% accuracy. So yet we We need to use the tool and then review it and fix whatever errors may occur.
Okay, we have a question for Yasha from Magda. Does this code work with all pre-composed character or only with specific ones? Is it exclusive? And this is for Yasha.
It's a good question. It should work with every pre-composed character, but as I mentioned in the chat, I haven't tested it across the board, but it's a very good stress test to put in every pre-composed character and see which ones don't work. And kind of the interesting thing about these kinds of experiments is that you can then go back and tell ChatGPT, hey, here are these like handful of pre-composed characters that didn't work. Why? And it hopefully would refine the script, and you kind of learn in the process like, oh, what's different or unique about this specific character set that it's not working for. So the short answer is I don't know, but the nature of these experiments is like an iterative process, and having things not work is kind of exciting because then you could just plug it back in and kind of learning the process exactly why it's not working and hopefully resolve it.
Thank you, Yasha. And also, I would like to add regarding compose and decompose. It's not only the limitation and the web record with this error, but also if this decomposed character are in the access field, we cannot create an authority record. So also the authority record also will have a problem. So in the fields, you will have the same. Actually, you will have more than the empty boxes. You will have like a coding mark something, and we cannot generate it. So we have to fix the fields in order to generate an authority record. I'm not sure if this would be changed after the Unicode in the name authority file, but we will find out more as we see more Unicode in the mark authority file. I think I'm looking at the question in the chat. Thank you, Yasha, for answering some of the question. That is helpful. Ismail has a question. How do you transfer them from ChatGPT to OCLC or Alma? Do you copy field by field and paste them in OCLC or Alma, for example, or there is a faster way to do so? And I believe this is for Yasha, right, Ismail?
I'm not sure who wants to answer it. Whomever can answer is okay.
Okay.
So for my part, the way it works now, one would have to copy and paste things back and forth between kind of the separate application and OCLC, and then in the same way you would configure your OCLC to export it to Alma or any other ILS, it would follow that process. But I think there's potential there to get these things. Someone mentioned in the chat, I apologize for forgetting the name, but getting these things to really integrate into the same tools, and thank you for the person that mentioned that, is really key to not have to move data around between applications is such a common problem. And then a new tool or a new software comes out that's really excellent, but you're still just moving data back and forth. But I think really it gets really helpful and really efficient when you don't have to manually move the data back and forth. But for now, the tool that I was experimenting with, you have to copy and paste it. But hopefully there's a better way to do that.
Yes, there are some excellent comments in the chat, Magda and Magda, also regarding some tips on how to do the experiment. There's a question from Aisha to Amal. Thank you for your great demo. It would be interesting to see if ChatGPT would create mark records with multiple languages with different script, for example, French, Arabic, and Tamazight. Something to try. That's a good suggestion, I think. Yes.
Question, and so far we tested it in Arabic, me and Ayman, and we are still testing. Like as someone asked about multiple record, we are trying to add more PDF files, and we find out, me and Ayman, and correct me if I remind me what we were talking about, Ayman. When the more unfortunately, we find out that the more files you added, for example, if you put like 7 books or 10 books, first it will be a little bit slow, and the hallucination will be much more. So we're still testing, and the results are promising. And it would be nice if the libraries adopt the ChatGPT for the security reason, and also for the entire library will embed this tool in the ILS system. Would be helpful.
Yes, Amal, and if you excuse me, Iman. Yeah, I did also some experiments with other languages, but because of the time today, so I didn't have a chance. We can show this in some other context or in the committee, how the other languages are doing, and also regarding the implementation, Amal, as you mentioned, in libraries. Yes, the good thing also the humble effort that done here. I'm glad that this is also applied in University of Florida libraries and in some other libraries inside United States and outside the United States. So what I'm doing now is reaching the step of writing the policy in the lib guide, so this can be known to everyone, and because I did some other things related to acquisition and search and retrieval or discovery, so it's going to the flow of the work in any library. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayman. There are a couple of questions also. Tharwat asked about AI and authority record. This is also some area to explore. I think I've done a couple of name using the ChatGPT, but it still need more experimentation. I bet this is be more complicated, especially with the authority control rules. I think we're at a time that we need to convene to resume our to finish our webinar. I thank you all. The big applaud for the presenter for the great work and for sharing with us your experiments and your presentation. We appreciate your effort. I thank everyone who joined us today. And hope you have a great the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ayman. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Thank you.